sight, but she looks like trouble. Her lips so kissable and poisonous. I know she won't be good for me. But I don't care, 'cause I know it's so rare for a guy like me to get a chance with a girl like her. And I won't waste that chance. 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 She got me like.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alliance live show number 108. So we're knee deep in the clone rework here, and we've got a lot of things to talk about. First and foremost, what's up to everybody? I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I mean, I guess there's some new stuff to discuss. You know, we have these relics to talk about too. I have mixed feelings about it, but I guess we'll get into that here in a few minutes. But before we get there, let me go ahead and introduce the co-host of the Alliance Live Show, and really the bestest buddy anybody could ever have in the entire galaxy. Good old Maurice. How you doing, friend? How's everything going?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. So, yeah, I mean, I guess everything's been status quo as far as like all the guild stuff and other things are concerned. But I mean, what about this clone rework? What do you think so far? I mean, it just happened, so I guess it's really kind of tough to have everything ready right away. But what do you think about the kit's first impression?
Pretty good. They're pretty good. They're not quite Darth Revan tier. They're definitely Padme, General Grievous tier. So, I don't know, A tier, not quite SS tier, but very, very good. Very, very, very good. So, it's cool. I think we're still missing a piece, but top notch.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be some other, clone edition here or some other, character maybe that comes out of this. Now, I think we discussed last week the possibility of these characters being included in some sort of an event. I mean, what's the likelihood, you think, of them, releasing some sort of a clone-related character in the next, month or two, or the next few weeks, really, and making them sort of marquee characters, and then putting them, let's say in a couple of weeks into a node to farm? I mean, do you think that that's the plan? I mean, do you think that's why they did 3? I mean, typically when they rework 3 characters, there's 2 other characters that are going to be a part of that team, right?
Well, it was interesting they included Ahsoka, simply because she synergizes with the existing Anakin and Kenobi. It's interesting she got added to this mix. I think it's obvious we're going to get a 5th, and I would not be shocked if it's going to be like a General Anakin or maybe some other sort of character in this Malak-style event that they kind of hinted at in the Q&A. That's something that's realistic. We're definitely getting a 5th. For no other reason than Echo's kit includes when Echo has crit damage up mechanic in it, and none of these characters give crit damage up. So we're getting a 5th for sure.
Isn't Ahsoka really part of the Padme team? I mean, if you're
that's what I was saying. It was interesting that she got the tag while she synergizes with something completely different. Like somebody made the point. I apologize, but the Padme team is basically like the movie team, and I think this team is geared around the cartoon series I forget who said it. I apologize again, but this, Ahsoka is going to be tough on both. I guess you could use a Padme lead with Ahsoka and the 501st for a pretty good team, but I don't know. It's interesting because
it's weird that they would create like a second synergy for her so quickly right after making her basically, a kind of a pillar of that team with Padme and Anakin, to now have her like that. So, I mean, I still kind of feel like there might be, definitely a fifth, but maybe even, a sixth, maybe even another one.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like there has to be two separate teams, right? Like it's not going to be where like, she's required to be in the clones and she's also required to be in the Padme team. Unless, again, there could be other characters that, replace her in the Padme team. I mean, maybe Shakti, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, maybe these, maybe there's more characters coming that will synergize with Padme that can kind of take her spot. So that could be another avenue that they go down. I mean, I don't know, but it's definitely weird to see her have so many tags now. I mean, like, she's, Padawan.
Yeah, I think she's still got that Night Sister mechanic in her leadership too. Like, I think she used to have like the Night Sister evasion mechanic in her leadership.
Yeah, she's a Jedi. She's a Night Sister. She's a Galactic Republic. She's a 501st, and I think that's it. She's a human. Remember when that used to be a thing when they were like humans?
Yeah,
she's a human. Yeah, they used to have that. That was going to be a thing at some point, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's just, it's interesting. So I wonder where they're going with that. Anyway, I got a lot of work to do. So my clones are not at the snuff. I mean, Rex, yes, but the rest of them definitely going to need some work on Echo and Fives. And I'm just wondering if I really need to go into the other clones, like if, Clone Sergeant, or if Cody are really going to be necessities for that team as well, or if there's going to be other characters that are going to be involved there, because that's also another kind of decision you have to make there as far as like allocating resources. Like, does it make sense to start leveling up Cody and Clone Sergeant too right now, or are there other characters coming? They're going to kind of be more viable to work with them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think most of the synergies built into the new kits are basically based around 501st, right?
Yeah. Well, the clones themselves have clone synergy, and 501st. So there's a certain thing. I think like Rex's unique gives a 4% speed per 501st ally, whereas some of the other characters, it includes both clone and 501st. It's a mixed bag. A lot of people tend to think we're going to get a 501st clone team and then a 212th clone team as well, which would make sense. Clone Sergeant just being kind of the generic one that everyone gets for free at the beginning of the game. So, which is cool because you get a clone, and if this team is as good as we think it is, at least on paper, I know there hasn't been not too much testing done with it because it requires lots of Zetas, but it kind of steers newer players in the direction of this team by just simply giving them a clone right out of the gate. So, it's lots of things. Yeah, TNT makes a good point here. Echo should have been the login. Yeah, Cody as the login character was interesting. That was kind of misleading, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of stuff happening. I mean, there's definitely a good chance that we're going to see some newer characters here. I think that these characters are going to be required for light side GOTB for sure.
Yeah, I would bank on Shakti being required at least.
I mean, I think 501st is going to be a thing now too. I'm starting to think. I think they're going to have like a 501st event inside of the. I mean, that makes sense. Definitely clone related at least. So it'll definitely be all clones or all 501st without a doubt. So, I mean, I wonder what that'll be. Maybe it'll be something related to like kind of like the Geonosians have the A-Clay. Maybe there'll be something there for the clones too, like some big event for them to face on the light side. I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
You could have Galactic Republic and then like a 501st, kind of like the Separatist droids.
But it's just the same thing. Always, it's like right around that time, like where I'm like, let's take a look at my Separatists now. So like a couple of months ago when we first started like really working on Separatists, my Separatists were definitely not. I mean, they were okay, but they weren't up to snuff. Now I have pretty decent Separatists. I'm still working on it, but what I'm saying is, just as I'm starting to get somewhere with the Separatists, now, we're going to have to shift gears entirely to 501st and all these light side characters that are going to be required here, I think, pretty soon. I mean, I think this light side GOTB is around the corner. So
yeah,
well, it's gonna dip into the dark side GOTB too, right? Because now instead of now you'll have two options to choose from. So like every time, unless they just alternate it like they used to do with light side and dark side. But I think they're going to give you a choice on whether you're going to do the Hoth light side or dark side, or the Geo light side or dark side, right? So I mean, you'll probably have to just choose every time which one is better, or I mean, maybe they'll make you alternate. That's another thing to think about, how they're going to handle that.
I would assume they're going to make you alternate, because I mean, if nobody if our guild doesn't have the light side characters, we're just going to pick the dark side every time, and there's very little incentive apart from the exclusive character for us to do light side. They want us to spend money, spend our resources on these light side characters now. I would go ahead and bank on it being alternating, like just forced alternating.
It'd be awesome if they just gave you the choice and you just do the one that you do better at, every single time.
Look at your clones. Well, I mean, I'm not picking at you, but look at your clones. They're gear 9, gear 10. Like, and your Separatists, as you showed, are all gear 12. Like, clearly, you, along with probably the rest of the people in the guild, are like, well, we've been preparing for dark side. We'll just do dark side nonstop, and then we'll get that Wat Tam board at 7 stars. Then we'll worry about light side. But yeah, that's gonna spread out
the watt shards too and things like that. I mean, like, so
that's something to consider, man. Like, like if you guys are kind of slow, like we're going kind of slow in watt. We got like 36 of 80. It'll take us 2 more dark side TBs to get them. If they throw in a light side TB after this next one, now it's going to be 3 weeks before we get them, like 3 TBs instead of 2. So that's. If you guys are right on the cusp of getting your watts, you might want to amp it up a little bit and go ahead and get that knocked out. You definitely want to have him unlocked. He is an awesome character.
You think he'll be good? You think he'll be good at 4 stars?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's gonna be pretty good because he goes first. He goes first with that Zeta and just gives a buff. If nothing, even if he dies the next turn, he at least gives a buff to the tank. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool. All right, we'll wait and see. So the next thing to talk about here, I guess, is these relics. So I have a photo here of what it's going to look like on the character screen after you get a relic. So we're just going to go over to Grand Admiral Thrawn. I'm going to pull up his character screen. So, this is what it looks like, now. And when you get the new relic system, after you get a character to gear 13, you're now going to see something like this. So it's going to look like all the gear slots are going to be gone. It's going to be a little bit more of a bare bones look. I kind of think it looks a little bit more modern. It looks a little bit more organized than before, but it's also just like so different than it was before. It looks like, you're just kind of used to all the chaos with the gears all around and everything like that it just looks kind of empty, right? But so they're going to have this piece here in the corner on the left-hand bottom corner that is a relic. So these will be, I guess, new, so for Grand Admiral Thrawn, it'll be his pistol. That'll be his relic, and for different characters, it'll be different things, like Hermit Yoda's cane, for example, and other things that they've described. Maybe it'll be Darth Vader's mask, I don't know. But what do you think about this?
You know, I kind of like the look. I've heard a lot of people kind of unhappy with it. It's kind of bare, and it is, but they've organized it there. You can see a 7-star. You can see a ship at the bottom, his level, everything there, all in nice, tidy fashion. Maybe the relic icon might be a little big, but I guess that's the new feature, so they really want to push that. I like it. It's kind of cool. It'll be interesting to see the difference. Like they showed us a maxed out character here, but I guess a gear 11, 12 character would just have the gear slots on the side. I like it. You have to have your character gear 13 to do the relics. Is that correct, or did I just make that up? It'd be interesting to see.
I think you have to be gear 13
yes.
to start working on it. It's basically gear 14. I mean, just with a different skin.
Yes, add the collection view on a gear 13 character after the update. After they reach gear 13. So yes, you will need gear 13 characters, and then that'll be interesting to see. I mean, like the relics on some of these characters, some of them might get something that's way better than another. You know, a lot of people are gear 13. They're Sith Empire, they're Night Sisters. But you know, once this comes out, you know, characters like Wedge, like Biggs, like these characters might get insane relics. You know, and kind of, if you guys are gear 13 people pretty frequently and spend a little bit of money, spend all your resources, I would kind of hold off and just to see what these relics do. Because what you don't want to do is gear 13 all these characters just to keep up with the Joneses, only to find out that the characters you've done have inferior relics. You know, like some of the other characters that you haven't even thought about, like Biston or something, some scarecrow, like ridiculous characters. I mean, this is a way to really balance the game here. They've got a good opportunity to make every character relevant with these relics, so it'll be very, very interesting.
I know that Biston popped to your mind first. Like the second you were thinking about making somebody relevant, you were like, "Oh, that'd be."
Yeah, let me get that Biston.
Let me get that Biston first. Let's get Biston a really nice relic. I think Biston's like what Biston wears a vest. Let's get Biston's vest in there.
Yeah, let's get Biston's cargo pocket.
Biston's cargo pants will be the relic.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. I think it's cool. I mean that they're kind of reskinning gear like this, but I just hope that they were saying that they're going to start giving us new ways to acquire the gear to get to gear 12 and gear 13, so it'll come faster, so that we can get to the relic system, right? And I hope that that's the case, because if at least, like, you know, they help us get to, because it's already a slog to get to gear 13 as it is. So if they start, you know, increasing, you know, the rewards, or, you know, increasing the locations or drop rates on this gear, that would make it a lot better for this thing to kind of work out. Because if, like, you know, I think just introducing gear 13 right now and the grind that is, and then having to say, okay, Nick, now no more gears, there's these relics, and I mean, I think that there's going to be a clear advantage too. They're going to make it so that the relics are something that you really want to upgrade. Like, so they're definitely going to make some of the relics like OP as hell. Like, so I mean, for sure, there's going to be some relics that are just absolutely ridiculous that, you know, will make it so that you can't win an arena unless you have that relic, or you can't win in Grand Arena Championships unless you have it. So there'll be some must-haves. So like Maurice said, I think that, like, you know, holding off at first and just, you know, starting to, you know, find out, I guess, from, you know, the rest of the player base, really, what the best relics to invest in are, might be the smart idea.
Well, I do hope that you could see the 0 underneath his blaster there. I do hope that to level up to level 1, like, I hope it doesn't take a set amount of, you know, it doesn't have a required gear. Like, you can just dump, like they've said over and over again, there'll be a way for us to get rid of our unwanted gear. I hope it's just it doesn't matter the actual piece, but, you know, like a white piece of gear gives you 5 XP, a green piece gives you 10, so on and so on. And you can just dump any gear into these relics that you want to level them up. I played a lot of games like this. You have too, a lot of similar games where you just level stuff up, like your gear or a card or some other sort of in-game thing. When you just level it up with junk. You just fill it up with like XP boosts and just all sorts of crap gear just to get it leveled up. And I hope that's the same here. It'll be real fun the first couple weeks, but
Well,
You'll be real shocked.
Weren't they saying that they were going to find a way for us to use some of that early game gear that we just have thousands of?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope you could just dump it in there regardless of the piece. Like, it would be real fun for 2 weeks to get rid of all those MK4 Carbonis and MK4 stun guns and all the challenge junk. But depending on how difficult the stuff is to gear up, that stuff will disappear real quick. You know, you'll get maybe 2 or 3 relics up, and you'll be like, get feeling good, and you're like, oh, I'm out of everything now. So...
Oh yeah. That'll be the annoying stuff to get too. Like, you know what I mean? Because
there has to be a way to monetize this. Like, you know, there has to be some sort of way where they're going to make money off it. So I wouldn't be shocked if, like, to take it to level 2, it's like it could just be a complete restart of the gear. Like, you know, maybe to take it to gear 1, you need 50 Carbonis, 50 stun cuffs, you know, and that type of crap, which would suck, but.
Well, they're going to basically make all of our characters, you know, back to gear level 1, you know, and just restart, you know, like just at a really super high level. No, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they roll with it. I mean, and, you know, I think that the way they'll monetize it is probably through packs. I mean, you know, they'll just probably give you a way to get to the next tier of relic faster, you know, by buying this booster pack. And that booster pack will be, you know, X amount of dollars, and you know, it'll be a situation where, you know, some people will be able to get that booster pack, and some people won't. You know.
Yeah, I think it'll be more than like the pack would be just like a generic XP boost. I guarantee we'll get some sort of like XP tokens now. You know, kind of like we level up our characters with the droids. We'll get some sort of relic droid or something to expedite the process. That's the way they can monetize it. We'll see. It's going to be very expensive to have lots of relics the first few months, so keep that in mind. It's exciting, but at the same time, for the free-to-play light spenders, this is kind of increasing the gap, you know, from pay-to-play to free-to-play even further. In some regard, I guess, but not to be pessimistic. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm just. Gear 13 is already pretty intense, and you start adding another layer on top of it. Oh, so soon too.
Well, they were saying that these relics are going to add new abilities to the characters, right? Like not just like, you know, like stat amplifiers. We're talking about like new kit adjustments, basically. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have a new weapon or something. You know what I mean? So, or they'll, I don't know what that means. You know, I don't know what that means. I mean, it could mean, but the way they explained it is like that, you know, it could mean that they're going to get new attacks, you know, or new abilities to boost the team. That might be probably the way. Maybe like new unique abilities from them. You know, maybe not new attacks, but like new, because they're probably not going to create new animations for these weapons. But I think that they'll probably. You know, maybe add new boosts to, let's say, Empire, or, you know, to himself. You know, maybe stat boosts, or, you know, it'll double his damage, or, you know, who knows.
Yeah, Grande makes a good point in the chat. It says it will also take credits. That I would go ahead and guarantee that. Yeah, I would definitely guarantee it takes credits, because I don't know about you, but once you reach a certain point, like the credits, I don't really face a credit crunch like I used to. I run out of credits just because I go nuts on mods, but like that's something I don't have to do. You know, like I'm just wasting credits on mods constantly. Like you get over the credit hump in terms of gearing. Once you get all your characters 85 and stuff, the credits kind of just do stack up. So that would be a way to just kind of make another credit crunch for the more advanced player. Yeah, get ready for a credit crunch. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, kind of like Start. Yeah, this is going to be very similar to Red Stars and Marvel Strike Force, I think. So, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see. You know, it's like anything else, it's a new progression system, so we'll have to see, you know, what it really entails, like what you're going to need gear-wise and credit-wise to level it up. And also, you know, how OP the abilities really are. I mean, if they're really... you know, worth going crazy over, or if it's just a minor increase, you know, a nominal increase that I doubt it, though. I think it's going to be something that's definitely, you know, eye-grabbing that'll make people want to go after it. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it as far as that goes. I mean, I think there's going to be it says something about like they're going to glow like a different color now based on like whether they're light side or dark side. I guess like if they're light side, they'll be like glowing like blue, and if they're dark side, they'll be glowing red.
Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah, if you rank up the relic, I guess to a certain point or something, they get like a cool red rim. I don't know. It's something stupid. Something just cosmetic.
Cool. So we'll get back to it over here. Yeah, Avinash isn't feeling well today, so she's not going to make it tonight. And Ranger is actually just in the middle of doing something, but he might be joining us here shortly. So we're going to go into the top 5 in the meta and get that out of the way, and then we'll do the Q&A, and we'll get into the meat and bones of the viewer interaction, because that's what this is all about. So let's get to the top 5 and the meta report here. Again, kind of a boring meta, just Revan, IG-88 Revan. It's really like it's so ridiculous that like the next best leader is 390 people,
Look at 88 about the past Jedi Knight Revan. That's crazy. Yeah. That's cool, but crazy. That's just how inferior the previous meta is. At least when Jedi Knight Revan was out and he was the meta, there was still a fair amount of Treyas everywhere. Like Treya was still competitive, still up in the mix. And now that we've had 2 shots at Revan, 2 shots at Malak, it's it is what it is. This clone 5th is going to have to be damn good to tackle this Darth Revan issue. Nothing new, really. Palpatine, you got 5 in the mix at the bottom there.
I'm telling you, it's going to be Jedi Ray that's going to change the meta. Jedi Ray, I'm calling it now. All right, next slide. We got the top 10 squads at rank 1. Really no difference here other than Geonosis Brood Alpha makes his way into the top 10 as the number 7 on this list. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people are using him with Darth Revan. That's kind of a shard specific thing. Like my shard has none of it, but I was in a buddy's account trying to help him out the other day, and then sure enough, everybody had Brood Alpha. TMoney was we built her droid cow the other night live on a stream, and she was trying to climb with her team. There's a bunch of Brood Alphas in there too, so it's pretty popular 5th. Makes you have 6 characters on your Darth Revan team.
So basically, yeah, I mean, you have Brood Alpha kind of making his way into the meta here as far as like a 5th or an additional character on a Revan team. So he may move his way up the list, but that's really the only difference here. Everything else seems to be kind of, status quo. So again, we'll move on. Now we're going to do the top 5 for the week. And this week we're doing top 5 characters to use with the 501st Reworks and the 501st characters. So let's dive into number 5. Who do we have here, Maurice?
Let me see. Let me get it pulled up here. I'm looking at Darth Revan's question. Number 5. This is the best characters to potentially go with the new 501st and clones. Number 5 is GK. GK could be a little higher on this list, but 5's new kit will allow him to taunt constantly, so you're not going to need that taunt quite as much. The crit immunity will be very helpful. And he does bring a cleanse, of course, retribution. If you don't have that shock T Zeta, or if you don't have shock T at all, will give them an opportunity to attack out of turn, do big damage, all sorts of benefits from all those basics as well. So, and of course, the crit immunity and the mass assist. So, lots of opportunities there to get the damage in, to get these clones critting. If you still use Cody, it's very helpful as well. Just a very, very good character, one of the best characters in the game. Is a clone option for you. I don't know how good that leadership would be now. I think that leadership's almost even a little dated now. They might have to go in and tweak that. I think there's still a slot for his leader to be upgraded to. So we might see something in that regard soon. But GK is number 5.
Yeah, I mean GK is obviously great Galactic Republic character. He's probably, one of the better tanks for them to have. Still one of the best tanks in the game, and his other abilities, to call and assist and cleanse and counterattack, really would help, with that Rex squad. So we'll see, how true this list rings in the coming weeks as more people dive into different compositions with these 501st characters. But General Kenobi, number 5. So moving along to our number 4 character to use with the 501st, we have R2-D2. So R2-D2, what are your thoughts here?
Well, R2-D2, especially at Gear 13, I'd go nuts about him every week now. But R2-D2 just adds tons and tons of stats. Number Crunch will add a significant amount of stats to your team, especially Gear 13. And then also this team, it kind of, especially if you don't have Shock T, if you're not going to use Padme, they do lack much cleanse in the team to get rid of debuffs. R2-D2 every time they crit. This is especially I think it's Echo now has the 20% crit chance element in his kit for the clones, so they're going to be critting a lot. That means they're going to cleanse themselves a lot. And then also, if you make your R2-D2 fast enough, he can lead the battle and stealth 5s right away. So you give him kind of like a little semi-taunt to start, and then he'll take his actual turn and taunt some more. So it's a good fill in there. He has a Galactic Republic. He's got all the tags to go along with it. So it's just a good all-around character to amp up your existing clones.
Yeah, he's got so many tags, so many bonuses. He's got the Galactic Republic tag, obviously, is the key one here. But, being able to stun in his basic and, again, being that the 501st really don't have like a, I guess you would say, a solid tank. His passive taunt really does help. It's not really a taunt, but the smoke screen sort of acts as one. And yeah, he's just a great all-around character that a lot of you are going to have already anyway. So definitely somebody that can interact well with the 501st characters. Moving along to our number 3 character. Who do we have here, Maurice?
Number 3 is actually Barris. This is probably going to be shocking to some people, but with that new 5's ability, that new Zeta that he has, if you kill another clone, he dies that way. He will fuel all of his health, protection, speed, and I think offense to the rest of the 501st. So it's very feasible that these characters are going to have, after that happens, 50, 60, 70,000 health, like the pools of 70,000 health, and you've got Barris' Zeta healing them up every time they get crit 20% of their max health. So that's that could make for incredibly difficult, especially in the case of Echo and Rex, and Ahsoka sucks. But whatever, whoever the 501st are, they're going to be incredibly durable, almost really really difficult to kill. It'll be a huge DPS check with the Barris Zeta in the mix there after 5 dies. So that could be incredibly difficult to take down. Your basic attacks have to crit for 15,000 damage to even nick them. So that'll be it'll be interesting to see how that mechanic works exactly. This is on paper. I haven't tested it myself, but in theory this should be the case because their max health pools will be increased after 5. So it's one to keep an eye out. If you guys do have this Zeta, you got another use potentially for it. So this one I'm excited about testing myself. I just got to get my Barris amped up. I got to remodder. So yeah.
Yeah, my Barris is ready to go.
Yes, yes, she is.
Yeah, no, I skipped the whole timeout team meta a while back with Barris, and honestly, I invested in her like really early because she was one of the first characters I bought, like out of those packs, the heroine pack I bought with her and.
Yeah, but she was super broken back in the day too. She was super broken.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, when you needed healers, Barris was the way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely gonna be a huge benefit. Again, dispelling the debuffs, just kind of randomly, and the health bonuses that she gives. Plus, I mean, listen, although healing is kind of so 2015, it's still it still can benefit you in some tight spots. So it's good, and she's a pretty beefy character too. So definitely worth the investment. That's our number 3 character to use with 501st. Now we're going on to our number 2 character, and this should come as no surprise: Padme Amidala.
Yeah, Ahsoka got that 501st tag, so you can use a Padme lead with Ahsoka, and then the 3 501st clones. Padme and Ahsoka will fuel 2 ways to give protection up, kind of make them immune to the crits and make them immune to debuffs. So you've got a team now that does incredible synergy, like 2 little mini synergies on the same team, with protection up, and they can't be debuffed, can't be crit hit. That's going to make 5s incredibly difficult to kill. Does bring a cleanse. That's the thing you're looking for right now. If you don't have Shock T, you need a cleanse on this team, and this is one. Brings a stun to the table. Got a basic attack that does protection up. Just something to consider. What you do with Anakin and GK, I don't know, but you could use Padme, Ahsoka, and the 3 clones together. And then you will have all 4 501st from Rex's unique that will give 16% speed now to the 4 501st, and that's a super fast Rex. In Grand Arena, TW guys, do not be shocked if you start seeing Rexes outspeeding your characters. 300 plus speed Rexes are a real thing now. That's going to happen. You got Cody now dealing damage. I don't think there's a damage penalty anymore. He could go really quickly. 5s even. He's still going to be slow, but he'll still be quicker than the average character. So this is a character to consider using if you really want really fast clones as your lead.
Yeah, I mean, Padme Amidala, clone meta. I guess we'll have to see how this team mishmashes, because again, there are kind of characters that really would work great with the 501st, like Padme, Ahsoka, etc. And then there are also characters that I think should be in a separate team. So, it'd be nice to see 2 separate faction squads out of this, so that you could eventually, have 2 new teams to run in TW or GA, because it would give you, a benefit, another counter to other squads. So I think that's it'll be interesting to see how the pieces fall here with the new clones coming and new characters coming to the game. But Padme is definitely worthy of the number 2 spot on this list. So that is the number 2 character to use with the new 501st reworked characters. We're going to move on to the number 1 character to use with the 501st. What do you think this is here? Who do we have here, Maurice?
Shock T. This could be the only time we ever do these. A Shock T makes number 1 of the list, and here it is. She is incredible. She is the clone leader right now for these 501st. She's very difficult to obtain. You see, Ramon has her 4-star gear 2. That's probably what the vast majority, of the community has her at. Goodness gracious. But if you are going to use her, it will require at least the Zeta, if not both. Retribution and all the clones paired with that Zeta is insane. They're very, very difficult to kill, especially if you start gear 13ing 5. So, it's going to be very, very tough. She does give the 35 speed bonus on her lead. I've asked a lot of people, I've got a lot of mixed results on whether or not the speed is calculated before or after Rex's percentage base unique in terms of the speed, but either way, it's still a very, very good leadership. She will provide a dispel for you. She'll also provide a cleanse for you and healing elements of all sorts of stuff, all sorts of assist mechanics. If you do want to use Clone Sergeant as your kind of spare, you can use Shock T, Clone Sergeant, and the 3 501st. A Clone Sergeant, you can make a Shock T as fast as possible. It's very good to have Clone Sergeant go first. You feed the turn to Clone Sergeant, who will fuel up his turn meter from doing his basic attack. Then he can AoE and remove the turn meter from the opposing team and let some of your other clones go. Very, very good character. I love this character. Very flexible character. This is who goes to the 501st, but you can look at her tags up there. Jedi and General Republic. Works great in a Padme team. We mentioned Padme just a second ago. She could fill in on that team instead of Ahsoka, perhaps. Just all sorts of synergies for her. Very, very good character. that everyone should have in their roster eventually. Very hard to farm right now, but one day you guys will have her, and you'll be happy you do.
This character is going to be a requirement, boys and girls.
Yeah.
So I would go ahead and start working on her as soon as possible, because, you know, I think that she's going to be a guild requirement, and I think that she's going to be good enough to be a requirement for TW and GA, because, like Maurice said, you can pretty much use her in multiple different teams, and you know, she applies a benefit to, you know, really any squad that she's in, whether it be a Galactic Republic team, you know, as an addition to a Jedi team, or you know, a team with Padme or the clones, you know. So
she's got a dispelling basic that grants offense up to everybody. That's insane. That's one of the best basic attacks in the game. It doesn't do any damage, but it's just utility of it is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, you know, but she's definitely probably the best character to synergize with these new 501st characters. Now, the honorable mention this week is going to come as no surprise. It's probably the best character in the entire game, and the honorable mention is Plo Koon.
Oh yeah, this one was kind of for fun. It's Jason just asked the chat. I'm surprised JK wasn't on the list. He should have been, but Plo's just way more fun. I don't think Plo Koon's ever made a top 5, so we threw him in here. He's got a slight amount of clone synergy. He does also have a dispel on his basic. If you guys do not have Shock T, so there's a source of dispel, because that's what you always want. You want dispel and cleanse on every team. So this is a form of that. Gives them all defense up, and you give defense up to 5 to gear 13. That's a force to be reckoned with right there. And then he also does give turn meter to the clones with that take charge. I don't think you want to use him as a leader unless you're fighting maybe. I mean, if you're using your 501st to take out Maul, maybe you use him as a leader, but besides that, his leadership is irrelevant. Just a place to use him if you guys did level him up for the ship, or maybe some of these other kind of, you know, niche teams, I guess you could say, but you can throw them in here. So, what's up, Scotty McLaren?
What's going on, Scotty? Yeah, I mean, what's up to everybody? I mean, what's up to Grande? What's up to DSP? What's up to Ray Rock? What's up to Josue?
Yeah, Grande says this
Gaming?
should have General Anakin Skywalker. And yeah, it should, because I'm sure we've all seen the post that's floating around, you know, about how it's going to, you know, they're going to be required for a Malak style event, and you know, General Anakin Snips and the 501st are going to be the next meta, blah 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 blah. But so yeah, you can go ahead and anticipate the 5th 501st coming. Cody and Clone Sergeant weren't added on this list just because that's not very fun either. So they're clearly. Obviously, the clones are going to be the best fit for these 3 or 4.
You know, very rarely do they insert like actual like sounds or commentary from the show or from the movies.
Yeah,
it would be cool if there is a General Anakin. If like right before he does his like most ultimate attack, he's like, "I hate them, I hate them," and he just kills everybody. You know, it'd be the way to go. I'm not shocked. I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, I think that there's definitely some reason to believe that these characters are going to be needed for an event like Malak, maybe for somebody like General Anakin. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I mean, 501st. Why would they make the 501st if they weren't going to do something that's tied to Vader with it, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense. You know, you would think it'd be, instead of General Anakin, like Fallen Anakin or Dark Anakin, because the 501st is really his, you know, it's Vader's fist. That's like his legion after he turns dark side. I mean, they're still his legion in, you know, on the light side too, but I mean, I feel like there's already a light side Anakin in that general age range, right? So, I mean, like, it'd be more interesting to see a dark side version of Anakin instead of a light side version of Anakin. But it is what it is. I think that ultimately they're gonna probably get us the Anakin with the ponytail that we see in the game. That's probably gonna be the same Anakin that we get, and he'll just be OP. And maybe he'll shift the tide. I mean, that might be the new meta. That may be the way to go. So, if that's the case, if he's really that awesome, I doubt it. I mean, I still think that, again, I think the next meta change is going to be when the movie comes out. I think Rey or Kylo Ren or one of the new versions of those characters, they're definitely going to have another Rey hero's journey in December or January or something like that. So whatever character that is will be super amazing. So but I think that if Anakin is really that good, then moving on the clones may be more of a priority than we think right now. So we'll have to see.
I think I don't know, this General Anakin or whoever it's going to be has to do something, because this team still needs help to beat Revan. Like, you can't use Rex's super move on Malak because Malak's immune to health-based damage. You can't assist an attack out of turn on Darth Revan because you just can't do it. So it's still, like, it's a good team, but it's not really built, I don't think, to counter Darth Revan necessarily. Well,
how good is this team? Like, how good would you consider the 501st squad right now with the characters that are in the game currently? Would you consider them to be, like, okay, maybe they're not Revan caliber, and they're not many that are, so let's say they're a tier below them. Are they like in the first order category? Like, are they?
No, they don't dip all the way down to first. They're right there with Grievous and Padme, in my opinion. It's like Revan, Darth Revan is the king of the mountain. Darth Malak is the king of the mountain, and then you've got Jedi Knight Rey, Grievous, Padme, and the 501st, kind of in any sort of order, depending on your roster and your mods and stuff. I think they're all kind of lumped together. Darth Traya, you can make a case maybe she's in the conversation as well in that same tier, but very, very good. I mean, if you have this team and you've got the Zetas, you've got yourself a very, 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 very awesome weapon for Territory Wars Grand Arena. I think we're all going to get a nice, whether you have the team or not, we're going to get a nice taste of it here. And tomorrow Grand Arena starts. So we're going to get those people that have gone all in on the clones. You're going to see some triple Zeta, quadruple Zeta, 6 Zeta teams under Shock T. Maybe, I guess 1, 2, 7 they have 7 Zetas, 6 Zetas, 7 with Ahsoka. So, I mean, people, if they really went all in this team, just instantly, good luck. I wish you luck. I'm fearing this. I put the Zeta on 5. So that's the only one I'm going to have in time for Grand Arena. So we'll see.
No, I wasn't saying that they are in the first order category. I'm just saying, like, I'm asking, like, like, basically, like Maurice said, there's kind of like a hierarchy of these squads and what tier they're in. Like, like a Traya team is on par with a certain amount of squads out there, and a Padme team is on par with a certain type of squads out there, just like the First Order is on par with other squads out there. I would consider the First Order to be kind of on the same level as like some of those Karth teams, for example. Like that's kind of where I consider the Karth squads.
Yeah, like First Order Karth, Bounty Hunters, they're all kind of lumped together. All of them are underneath the 501st, I think. Fan Seals in the chat, he's not going to like that, but yeah, they're pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Because we got to get a character that gives crit damage up. Whatever's coming gives crit damage up, which is scary, but...
Crit damage up?
Yeah, because Echo's got that mechanic in his kit where he does more damage if he's got crit damage up or something. And there's just really no element of that right now for the team.
We could totally get like Episode 9 Palpatine. That could happen. That'd be cool. But we'll see. That could be the meta. It may not be Rey or him. It may be just like I don't really know what that would be, because I mean it's not really Empire anymore either. Yeah, I mean that's just like straight up Sith. I guess I don't know. Anyway, that is our top 5 characters for the 501st reworks to use with the 501st characters. Please do support the channel by slapping the like button and let me know you have some love for me. and Maurice and, you know, what we're doing. And also subscribe if you're not already, because I like that. We're going to go and we're going to do the Q&A segment here. So for those of you that aren't here all the time, this is typically the time where we'll answer questions or discuss any topics that you guys have in the chat. So if you have anything you want to talk about, type it in. I'm sure Maurice has already compiled a few things to discuss. I think he asked one already as far as like the rumors about Anakin and the new event. I think that would be interesting. You know, we'll see what happens. But do we have any other questions?
Yeah, we got a couple. I'm sure you guys have seen that post. I've seen it multiple times today. But we'll see. DSP, what are the odds that relics won't need carbonis and or stun guns? Do you think that
the odds that relics won't need carbonis or stun guns?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're definitely going to need credits. I don't know about stun guns and things like that, but I think they're definitely going to use a lot of that lower gear like they were talking about, because I think that, like Maurice said, that's probably what they were hinting at there. But I think it'll be an immense amount, and I think you're going to go through it fast, and I think you're going to have to farm a ton of that stuff. And then there'll be some other type of chase. It'll be probably a new piece entirely, probably not Carbontes or stun cuffs. It'll probably be something like relic shards or something, you know, who knows what it'll be. Or maybe you can use certain pieces of gear or whatever to buy relic shards that level up your relic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll be something like that, where you can turn something that you have in for currency to level up your relic. You know? Yeah,
maybe. That's I'm just, I don't know. I haven't done any sort of testing. I have no knowledge whatsoever. I just feel like the way to monetize this is to sell another pack now. Like, just like we have the Omega packs, we have the ship Omega packs that come out periodically. We have these packs like we have now with the goofy gear prices. They have that $70.99 pack that we got today as well. I think the way to monetize this is sell XP boosts, and you can just dump any gear and all gear into these things and level them up. You know, and once you start getting up to the higher levels, it just is super, super tough. Like, you know, thousands of purple gear to take it up one level. Just from my knowledge and playing other games, that it looks super similar to it. Just, we'll see. I don't know. I hope it doesn't have, like, you know, to take it to level 1, you need 50 of this, 50 of that, 20 of this, 20 of this, and 3 Rancor furnaces. I hope that's not the case. Because if that is the case, they might as well just kept the gear system in check and just made a gear 14, you know. So, something a little different. This would be a way to kind of reward the very veteran players as well, because I'm sure you and I both have thousands of some of this gear, like just thousands and thousands and thousands. The Mace challenge gear, I mean, that stuff's worthless. I can't use it anywhere. So that's that would be cool.
I've been happy to capitalize on some of my ally points with some of these things they put in every week in the store.
Hey, man, you know what? And like you said, maybe you have to buy a specific piece to level up a specific relic. That would be a way to do it. That would be cool. Get some sort of, it's, you know, get some more out of our ally point tokens.
Like a shard shop, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, and maybe it's just like gear for like unused gear pieces, you know, and maybe certain gear has certain value, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe if you turn in a, maybe if you turn in a furnace, it's worth more than if you turn in one of those green pieces, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, because all gear, if they are going to try to use gear like or lower level gear as like a some sort of a piece you can turn in for something greater, all gear isn't created equal. So I mean, they're going to have like a tier system for that. It's not going to be like where, it's every piece is just worth the same thing. You know, they'll have to have like something where, kind of like the shard shop, like, you have. Ship shards are worth a little bit different than character shards, and maybe something like that. Even though it's only a 1 point difference, I think, but still, it'd be It'd be better to tier the gear based on the rarity. You know, if it's a level 1 gear, or if it's a green gear or a purple gear, you know, etc.
Our Grande Patrona asks if I'm wearing pants. Yes, I am. I'm wearing some tennis shorts. DSP, this was for you, man. Ramon, what's your thoughts on the Mandalorian trailer? Have you seen it?
I have, and I also watched the initial video from the Mandalorian at, I think it was at was Star Wars Celebration. They showed a trailer. They showed like a 2-minute clip or something like that, or a 3-minute clip of the actual episode. Looks great. Looks very gritty. Looks very dark. Looks like a cool, interesting addition to the Disney streaming service. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on there. I mean, bear in mind that Disney basically owns like everything now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the only reason they don't like just buy Spider-Man is because they'd have a monopoly. You know, it's crazy. They own, you know, all the Marvel stuff, so they're going to have like a whole bunch of Marvel shows on there. You know, they have the Disney, the Star Wars stuff. They have, you know, lots of cool properties. So we'll see. But there's going to be the Kenobi show coming. That'll be cool. I'm sure they're going to do something for that in this game as well. You know, probably, you know, we'll get like, you know, Hermit. We'll get like mid-aged Kenobi. You know, we'll see. But maybe I'm just spitballing here. But
we were talking about this on the Jedi Academy the other day. I think you know, there's already enough Mandalorians in the game to maybe warrant a tag. So if we could get maybe 2 or 3 more from the show, I think a Mandalorian tag is feasible. And unfortunately, the Mandalorians in the game right now don't really synergize with one another. You know, you got Button, you got Boba Jango, Gar Saxon, his boyfriend. You've got, I think they said Sabine is also Mandalorian, yeah. And then you've got the Ordo. So I mean, there are enough to justify a tag. Just maybe get them a couple more. We saw Django get that Separatist tag already, so then you know they're willing to add tags to characters.
That'd be cool. I mean, yeah. I think that the Mandalorian, I hope they have like cameos of characters from the lore. I mean, like I hope we see like maybe some bounty hunters. Like it'd be cool to see IG-88, or you know, to see, you know, Dengar, or to see, you know, Embo or somebody like that pop up. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get Boba Fett. I think they're gonna probably stay away from Boba Fett because they think it's too. I mean, it hits too close to home, I guess, to have Boba Fett there. Because a lot of people are thinking that the Mandalorian is Boba Fett, you know. But I don't know. I think it's going to be, you know, just a show set in that universe. But they're going to have like some, you know, tie-ins to the main plot line. So you'll hear about things that are going on in that timeline. You'll hear about you know, and maybe we'll run into characters. You know, as they're like doing things in that timeline. So we'll see. Maybe we'll run into a few characters. I don't think we'll have any main characters of the show be like main characters from the lore already. I think it'll be all like an all original cast. So that's what I think. Well,
we'll skip ahead a couple questions here. I'll go back to the rest of them, guys. But this one kind of goes along the same lines. Our buddy Jedi Gunny asks, how excited are you for Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan?
I'm super excited about Ewan McGregor coming back to be Obi-Wan. I mean, you know, there's nobody who'd be a better fit for the role. You know, Ewan McGregor also, you know, he's like now aged into the part, basically. I mean, like, you know, it's, you know, he's not that he's like looks like dramatically older than he was before, but I'm saying like, you know, he's now, you know, it's been what? When was the first Star Wars Episode 1 movie or Episode 2 movie? It was like 15 years ago?
20 years ago, yeah. It's been a while.
So, I mean, he's significantly older now, so he's kind of aged into that role where he'd be playing. I mean, it's like, it's going to be where he's Kenobi. He's not going to be old Kenobi. He's going to be Kenobi between, you know, Episode 3 and Episode 4. So he'll be like, you know, kind of exploring, you know, his living on Tatooine and guarding Luke, and it'll probably have something to tie in with Darth Maul and some of the stuff that he dealt with there. I'm sure there'll be some tie-ins there. Maybe even Ahsoka will make an appearance on the live show. I mean, you never know. Anything could happen there. They could dive into the how he learned to talk to Qui-Gon Jinn, and they could tie in stuff to the show, and Ewan McGregor is a good enough lead character that you're going to be invested in the show. So it's not going to, no matter what, it's not going to be boring because Ewan McGregor is good at it. So I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be cool. I'm excited about it.
I'm a little upset myself that because there could be no Train Spotting 3 or Big Fish 2 or any of that stuff. It's just going to be Obi-Wan for Ewan McGregor. It's a little disappointing.
He's such a great actor. He's whatever he does is it's gonna be great. So I mean, I'm sure he'll be able to bust out some nice lightsaber fights, and I'm sure he'll be. I mean, I hope that they make the story smart. It's not just Ewan McGregor walking around and dealing with people that are nemesis is like street thugs on Tatooine. I hope there's some larger theme to it, but if they there's so much stuff that they can explore with that Darth Maul thing. They can explore some stuff with with Vader looking for Kenobi. They can do a lot of different things. I mean, they can really make it interesting. So if they do it right, they could have a really cool show on their hands. It just depends on how they, how they play it. I hope it's not just him hanging out on Tatooine. That's for sure.
All right. Next question from Urzatron. What's up, man? Boys, do we think Relics will give Zeta-esque updates, like new abilities for characters?
I think that Relics are going to be like steroids in comparison to Zetas. I think that the Relics are going to be OP. Otherwise, what's the point, right? I mean, if the Relic system adds 300 health, who cares? It's got to be something really cool. And they were saying abilities, so when I hear abilities, I'm thinking new abilities means new abilities, right? You unlock the Relic, you're going to get a new added level of damage maybe on your weapon, or you're going to get, new unique ability, or you're going to get a new attack, so something like that I think would be cool. What's up, Urzatron, by the way?
You know what I think? I think that it'll give you a new ability to fix your mods or your damn characters.
Just coming in here interrupting people and stuff, man.
I mean, weren't you just doing an extensive remod yourself? What's going on?
I know, man. God dang.
Hopping in the chat an hour and a half late, just interrupting people. Just get
That's
up.
Right.
Late.
That's right. That's right.
Well, welcome to the show. What do you think? What do you think Relic's going to do, man?
I don't know, man. I mean, some people look at it as it's going to be Gear 14, right? We don't know what stats it's going to do. We don't know if it's going to give abilities. I'm leaning toward more of the stat stuff, right? That's why they're doing it, because they don't want to keep going Gear 13 up with stats and things of that nature. So that's where I'm kind of leaning toward with the Relics. Problem being is, I mean, this is the thing that's driving me nuts about Relics, right? We just got Gear 13, and their post made me chuckle when we saw it, where they're like, the gear's getting old. I'm like, we just got Gear 13. How old can it be, for God's sakes? We're dealing with all that, and then they're going to throw Relics on there. Now, I think it was Grande when we were talking about it. Was one of the crew was talking about it, or you'll spend all that excess gear you have for a certain point, but then you're going to run out of it, and then we're going to be basically at square one trying to farm this other gear. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's ambiguous about this. I'm kind of waiting to see what it happens. But if I'm going to lean toward anything what the Relics are going to do is just add stats.
Well, they use the term "add new abilities." I think Ramon kind of hinted on it. If your relics reach a certain point, it's not out of the realm of possibility that maybe some of the existing abilities get a level 9. You know,
that could be the case too.
I don't think we're gonna get like physical new abilities. It could be a new ability though. Also, like Thrawn's gun could provide, you know, based on the level. It could, you know, like let's say Thrawn's gun. You get it to level 1, it provides 5% extra tenacity for your whole team. Or you get it to level 2, it's 7, you know, and so on and so forth. Maybe like squad-wide kind of passive buffs is something that it could do. I don't think we're going to get like a new ability.
I think if they do change things like that, though, if they do add like if they do just like mass drop, like, you know, there's 170 characters, right? Like 180 characters now.
Yeah.
I mean, if they just mass drop 180 new abilities into the game, I think it'll be bananas. Like, I think like what'll happen is there'll be, if it is abilities, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, there's going to be characters that are broken because of because it definitely can't have tested all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I don't know how advanced. I kind of like, as much as they're saying abilities, and I want to think like you're saying, like they're going to add like some new buffs or some new benefits. I mean, I'm thinking that's what they're meaning by saying that. When I read that, that's what I see. I think it's going to be massively complicated for them to just drop abilities for all those characters at once. I think unless they just do it in patches, like maybe they release 10 relics at one time. You know, or 15 relics at one time, and then eventually, you know, we get another 15, and it just goes on like that. This way, it's like, you know, it's not like such an instant drop of like all this new content.
I mean, it could be.
What gear level? It was either gear level 10 or 11. Like only half of the characters got the upgrade, and like there were certain characters that were just better for no other reason that they had a higher gear level than the other characters. Like Lando Calrissian, when Lando was meta, it's because you could take him up a gear level higher than anybody else. And like Anakin was a character you could take up a gear level higher. That'd be maybe a way to balance it, if nothing else. I don't think Thrawn needs a relic, if that's the case. But
he's getting one.
Yeah, we know he's getting one. This would be interesting.
It would be cool if the relics were like relevant relics, right? Like, I mean, if it was like, you know, you know, I could even get, like, Yoda's staff. I mean, like, that makes sense. Or Vader's mask or something like that. But, I mean, like, why his gun? You know? I mean, like, that's... I don't know. I just think, like, just picking any random thing that somebody has because, you know, what are they going to do for old Daka? She has nothing.
I don't know.
Maybe
old Daka's panties.
Old Daka's tentacles on her head.
Yes. Scotty McLaren. A lot of people are talking about the reskins of things like TB and more importance on things like character progression. What new content do you guys want to see? What would you guys like to see added to the game? Me personally, I'm busy enough as is. I don't want to.
Yeah, we got so much. We're getting ready for GOTV again. I mean, GAC's right around the corner. It's like,
I don't think the content is as much the concern. I think it's the quality of the content, right? Like, I think that, you know, when you release a game mode like Grand Arena Championships, the rewards should be worth your effort. And they're not.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I don't care about Grand Arena Championships because there's nothing there. There's no long-term, like, real, like, record that I've seen or anything like that, other than the progression system in your divisions. You know what I mean? There's, you know, like, you get Kyber level or whatever. But I'm saying it's like, you know, the only thing reward-wise you're getting is some currency that gives you kind of bogus, you know, it's like another shard shop. You know, it's like, I don't know. I think that it would be cool if there was like some sort of like chase in there, like, you know, and the reward system was a little better. Maybe if they gave you the currency that you get for, you know, to get Kenobi's ship, for example, the negotiator, that currency, you know, that would be worth it. You know, that would be something to go after. That'd be a reason to do it. You'd be falling behind if you didn't do it. Right? Like, that's something to do. Like, I don't feel like by not doing Grand Arena Championships, like, I'm missing anything. Right? Like, so it's like, I don't know. You know, I just think if you're going to introduce a game mode like that, you know, that's
Well,
enough.
it's more about the competitive, stuff. I mean, there's stuff in there. I mean, one of the things that they put with the GAC store was to alleviate some of the cost of, getting the gear that you need, right? But if you look, even if you get the Kyber, the amount of GAC you get for every 5 weeks to get those pieces for what they cost, it's like,
Yeah, like I would have just happily spent 50 crystals for a refresh to get the same amount of pieces and then spend 5 weeks trying to get the current.
But I mean, it's the competitive side of where people like to, they like to compete. They like to test out their teams and stuff. And I think, from what I'm gathering, looking at this, that CG is using this as a platform to make this move this in different directions. Where instead of arena with one meta team, that we have, multiple teams that you need for events moving forward, right? To be able to be competitive, right? It's not just based off one team; it's based off multiple teams to do stuff. So I think that's the direction they want to take it. Will they take it there? I don't know, but I mean, that's what it looks like. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff. So this thing that's driving me nuts. We're getting relics for the characters, yet mods is a dumpster fire. I know, because I'm sitting there dealing with it every day with mods, with reminding people's accounts and stuff, and I'm just looking at some of the stuff, and it's like, Jesus. Ships is not complete because we're missing ships. There's just stuff in this game that needs to be worked on first and looked at first before we start adding stuff. Before you go adding new stuff in a game, make sure the stuff that's there is functional and it's not causing issues. Before you move on to adding new stuff that can lead to more problems because it's not coinciding with everything else you've done. And I think that's one thing that drives me nuts about this game.
Well, it's not very original or creative, but like one of the things I would be excited about, and they mentioned it in the Q&A, they said, you guys are getting a sandbox mode basically point blank, but they did say they showed some interest in maybe converting Grand or Galactic War into like a horde type survival mode. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Just some way to test my teams without either costing myself a Grand Arena match or costing my guildmates potentially a TW match. Some sort of competitive game mode that I can test things in. Like, I'm sorry, but saving my best team for Node 9 and Galactic War just doesn't cut it anymore. Like, the Galactic War is too easy. Like, there's no team that I'm going to come across that even remotely...
No, you can go in there with Malik at 13 and just one-shot everything and be like, I'm done.
The old Galactic War, while we complained about it at the time,
it was a great way to test stuff and be like, okay.
Yeah, you kind of burn through the first 7-8 nodes, you get to that node 9, and then you have your very best team that you're working on, you test it out. Yeah. And sometimes, you get a crap team, but the majority of the time, at least it's a competitive team. But we don't have anything like that. In Arena, you can't test anything in Arena, unless you want to test against North Revan. So it's just, so that would be cool. And then long ago in one of the data mines, they kind of showed some sort of arcade type mode for the raids. I think that could be kind of cool. But that would just be filler. Like, I don't think that would really improve any of our play. We wouldn't get any better from playing it. We would just find cheesy ways to cheese the best scores in the Rancor. But that was just something. I don't care if they add on to existing content. Ships. Put ships in Grand Arena. They're giving us all these ships. We get all these ships. The only time we use it is for TV battles that are damn near impossible and Arena. Like, at least put the ships in Grand Arena. When that way the people that did farm the Negotiator, there's a reason to farm the Negotiator, because right now the only reason you're farming the Negotiator is because you're terrified it's going to be needed for light side TV and possibly Arena. So there's really some incentive to use ships elsewhere in the game. And like, I want a reason to actually go into Ship Arena and test stuff. Like, I don't think I've ever wanted to test anything in ships. You know what I mean? Like, let's see if this works. There's never really been a reason to do so.
We're gonna get Luke Skywalker's ship.
Yeah.
Red 5.
Scotty McLaren says, will we see Kai Addimundi soon?
Absolutely.
That's the character I think. I think for me, that we're gonna get some Jedi reworks. I'm hoping Mace. We're gonna get Kai Monday as part of it. Maybe a couple more clones to add to what we've got already, right? That's what I'm leaning toward. I mean, everybody's saying Jar Jar, and I understand why they would think that. I think it's going to be Kai Mundi with the forehead comment and stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't shock me though if old Jar Jar came in and we were like, "Oh, little Annie."
Well, in that little post that's getting passed around the community, they said that the Mace rework in this Monday event have been delayed, and we're getting the 501st guy, General Anakin first. We'll see how accurate that is. You can't ever trust anything you read.
Well, they should delay the Mace rework.
Yeah, I don't put any faith into any of that stuff.
Delay the Mace rework until it's right. You better get it right this time. Get Mace right this time. Don't screw Mace up again.
2022. Yeah.
Get Mace right this time. Take as long as you need.
Yeah.
Just make him
the
good.
day they get Mace right will be the end of the game. Everyone thinks like, oh, we get Jedi Luke, the game's over. Nah, we get a working Mace Windu, the game's over. that's time to scramble. That's in jest too. No, just kidding, guys. TNT Gaming. With Django being a separatist now, we need one more sep to complete a third team. Do you think we'll get another separatist?
Don't we? How many separatists we have now?
So I'm looking now.
Like math is hard off the top of my head. I'm like, wait, let me look here. Yeah, it was cool when I was looking at separatists. I saw Jenga pop in there, and I was like, oh, so now we've got 15.
We do have 15. So
with Wat Tambor, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to be cheeky, you could go Geonosis, you can go Droids, and you can go Dooku, Wat, Newt.
Yeah. If we do get another separatist, I think it would be after we get anything that's coming, whether it be the Monday, whether it be General Anakin. Then I think we'll need these characters to maybe get the ultimate separatist character of some sort, maybe like a future legendary event. I think we're done with the separatists for now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Potentially another one down the line in some sort of event. Perhaps.
Yeah, it could be.
We're doing Marquis too. So.
I mean, they could bring in some other droid stuff. I mean, there's some droids that are in Battlefront, like the Commando droid and stuff like that they could bring in that would be cool. And I kind of link those two now because every time I see stuff from Battlefront, I see as soon as Galaxy Heroes and vice versa. That means since last year, I've been noticing that trend big time. So it wouldn't shock me.
So we got TNT Gaming, speaking adding tags. Cheating sucks.
Cheating does suck.
Something about.
Do you think this Grand Arena Championships is actually going to go off? Like, you think we're actually going to have it?
Yeah, well, I think if they get all those bugs squared away, yeah, it should go off. So.
Did you guys just not see it? Here's a question from Van Seal. Do you think the new relic? So we kind of already answered this, but let's see. Do you think the relic will add new abilities? Will just be generic abilities for tank, support, healer, or attacker, or individual abilities, and how will the AI handle it?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Pretty much the same thing, just worded much more specific.
Yeah.
I do think each one will be unique.
Yeah, because they said they want to make them unique to the characters, right? To have that specialization to where the lightsaber or blaster pistol or whatever they make to the character feels unique to that character that gives them special stuff. It wouldn't shock me if that's where they went.
It's just a very bold move to do this so quickly. Like, they haven't even...
It really is.
The relic system would be a way to balance the game. But Gear 13 just came. I mean, there are certain Gear 13 characters. There are tons of them. The characters that have less than like a dozen Gear 13s total in the entire game. There's no way they can know how each of these characters are going to play a role and how it's unbalancing or balancing and this and that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is an interesting choice to do it so quickly. Because this would be a way to fix things like they've done in the past, where like characters, like every gear level, characters get tweaked and adjusted to kind of balance it, right? Like every gear level change, while it's unfortunate, a lot of people hate it, it does balance. It's a way for them to balance the game without nerfing or doing this or that. So we'll have to see, man. I don't know. I'm excited about the relics, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm not very optimistic about it, if that makes any sense.
Well, we'll still have to wait and see what happens. I mean, again, we're all speculating. We have no idea what they're going to do with the relics.
Yeah.
It'd be
because
really
they're just too general.
It'd be ridiculous if they were just all general. It would have to be like specific to the character to make it interesting, and it'd be cool if Hermit Yoda was able to summon lightning and do an AOE from the sky,
Yeah.
or turn into a Force ghost and do something cool.
It's true I have Skywalker.
Force Ghost Yoda. Oh Lord.
Mace's relic is his hair from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Hermit Yoda, if Hermit Yoda like had like an AOE annihilate ability, like on like a cooldown of like 36, and he just like that was his stick ability. Like he just ascended into the Force and then shoots lightning down on the whole troop and kills everybody. That would make Hermit Yoda better than Darth Nihilus.
I got Mace's Jerry Curl up to level 4 today. They're saying all sorts of Pulp Fiction relics now, or Pulp Fiction references. Royale with cheese could be Mace's relic. A wall that says bad AMF.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
the new Anakin would have to be the ponytail, right? It would be the ponytail relic.
Oh, here in the midst of Grande and Scotty's High Five Fest, we have a good question from Jose Garcia. Shock T, viable 3-star Gear 11 as the leader of the clones for Grand Arena.
New. Got 3 stars.
Yeah, 3 stars seems like she's not one of those 3-star characters. I don't think.
No. I mean, 4 stars you could probably get away with it, but 3 no.
Offensively, perhaps. Definitely not for defense. That just makes it. They
That's
just
true.
They're one-shot Shock T. Offensively, you could have ways to manipulate it, like R2D2. You could potentially put under stealth. You could have maybe a really fast Shock T. That way, you could guarantee that 5's is taunting by passing him the turn meter. There's ways a lot easier to do. I would not put her on defense. Yeah, just because you lose all the benefits, especially from that unique, the retribution and stuff. If she just dies immediately. So
this Freedom Fighter Ultimate Bundle, $90 for ships. I guess I guess
the Chimera.
The Chimera event is live.
Yeah.
That's a crazy pack, man. Are you guys buying these $7.99 packs? These $8 packs?
Yes.
I'm buying every one of them, man.
Yeah.
Give me more $8 packs. You should sell one every day. And then you just get massive amounts of energy.
These special gear packs are interesting. They're just they're like, well, if you guys like to buy gear anyway, here's something for a little cheaper, and you have a small % chance of getting double. Weird. They're interesting packs. I'd be curious to see how those packs sell, because I know I bought the last one, the gold eyeball one, because I buy those out of the store all the time, and it's a little cheaper I got 25. I didn't get lucky in the 50, but I don't know. That one that's up now, I'm not really interested in at all. But the gold eyeball one was pretty good.
I bought the one with the gold eyeball, like the black ones. And with one pull, I got 50 for like 600. It was totally worth it.
All right, here's a good question from Rooster. What do you guys use for Gear 13 Night Sister counters outside of Traya, DR, and Padme?
Say that one more time.
Night Sister counters outside of Traya, DR, and Padme.
Yeah. Do you use? The counters I use for Gear 13 Night Sisters is Troopers, Imperial Troopers. But I do have a Gear 13 start in.
I just go with the Triumvirate.
Don't the Troopers become not as good of a counter anymore once the Night Sisters are really well geared and fast?
No, as long as my Starks goes first, it's 60 banners. I don't care how much health and offense you have on Spirit. She never gets to go. She never gets to go. So, but it's a heavy investment. That's not feasible.
Also,
the Shock T clones are an option. especially now that Rex can. It's very easy to get Rex over 300 speed now with the uniques, especially if you use Ahsoka. I think clones are an option.
Does it matter who's lead as far as like Asajj or Mother Talzin?
With the troopers, no. With the clones, no. Not as if you have a Shock T lead, no, it doesn't matter either. But you do have to have a faster team. Like your Rex should probably go first. Probably maybe even before Shock T. You could probably get Rex out in front of Shock T now with the bonuses. He can pop the tenacity up and give everybody a turn. And again, you'll probably want to use Clone Sergeant for that AOE that removes turn meter. That way it'll get you a couple extra turns. Because with the clones, with that Shock T leadership, it's kind of easy to shake off the plague with all the attacking out of turn and stuff. So they're not too big of a threat. But again, that's kind of an in-game team. Not too many people have a 3/4 Zeta clone team with a 7-star Shock T, but Wampa and Karth, that's not going to work against Gear 13. Just disregard that. Yeah, Traya. Traya is if my Starks goes first. If I have a fast enough Stark, I use Imperials. If not, I use Traya. I know it's not really what you're looking for, but that's what I do. I've never tried Padme versus Night Sisters, and of course Grievous. The Separatist droids just slaughter the Night Sisters. But that's more than likely a defensive team for the majority.
What about
the player base?
What about the Geonosians?
People say I've never tried the Geonosians. My Geonosians are like the absolute bare minimum to squeak through the Wat Tambor shore. I don't really have any interest in taking them any higher. But I hear that they're good as well. I don't have any personal experience with that though. CLS Bro for Night Sisters. No, not me. Not me. That always ends miserably for me. Let's see. I think that's about it. 4 days left of Vulture Droids. Go get you some on stream.
4 days left of Vulture Droids. You guys better all hop to it. Especially Ranger. You better have a 7-star Vulture Droid by the next live show.
Sure. I can't use CLS against the Night Sisters. I have to save CLS for Darth Revan or Jedi Knight Revan.
If you really love your fan base, Ranger, you will have a 7-star Vulture Droid by the next live show. That's how you show dedication.
When all your mods are fixed, I'll do it.
Okay, so maybe we do a by Wednesday bet. Okay, I'll have my mods fixed, and you have to have a 7-star Vulture Droid.
Yeah, I'll wait till I see it.
All right. I guess we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It's been a really fun show. We will be back next week. Hopefully, Abby will be feeling better, and she'll join us next time. And we'll see what happens over the next few days. I'm sure we'll get some news on the front as far as like these clones and how they are interacting in Grand Arena over the next few days. We're about to get another GOTB. So we're gonna go through that and see how we fare on the different events now that our Separatists are a little bit better this time around. And if we get any news or any thing special during the week, if they announce Jedi Luke, we'll do a surprise live show. But otherwise we'll be back next Sunday. In the meantime, however, Ranger, where can they check you out?
You can check us out on Reality Skewed Gamers. Just type Reality Skewed Gamers on YouTube, and we got all kinds of stuff. We're also on Twitch. You can check us out there. We just did our D&D campaign, so we got all kinds of games and stuff you can check out. But mainly for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, we cover it a ton. We have our live stream during the week. We have the Wednesday night show. We got the Jedi Academies on Saturday. We do mini mod reviews and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a lot going on over at RSG. So check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, the link is in the description of the video, so definitely click on that link to get to the RSG Reality Skewed Gamers channel. And Maurice, what's going on in the Operation Metaverse world?
Oh, not too much. Got a stream coming up on Tuesday, as we do every Tuesday. Working on our next video now. We're actually working on 2 videos, slowly but surely here. I'm still kind of piecing together what to do with the rest of your roster type of piece when you use Grievous to counter Darth Revan on some of these obscure teams. It's coming along, but it takes a lot of practice. Thank you very much, 08 Blaze 83. What up, and until next time. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you very much for the donation.
So yeah, we'll be streaming Tuesday. I think Grand Arena starts tomorrow. So I think Wednesday will be the first offensive phase. So I don't think that's going to hit us on our night. But if it does, we'll probably stream Grand Arena on Tuesday. If it's live, then we'll see. But yeah, thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us late on this Sunday night. It's been a cool adventure. We'll be back next time for some more live show next Sunday, same time, same place. I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend. I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you on the next one. May the force be with everybody. Take care. Have a good night.